Manual for Cultural Heritage Disaster Risk Mitigation. Examples of cleaning procedures for cultural materials. This video gives examples of emergency measures and temporary storage methods for cultural materials that have become dirty due to a natural disaster. This time we will focus on the cleaning and temporary storage of wooden objects, assuming a scenario of damage from an earthquake and flood. For this work, prepare a dedicated workspace. Do not use a room where people eat or that is used for normal work. Preparing to work. You will need a well-ventilated space with a roof. The work may be done outdoors in good weather, or if an object is too large to fit indoors. In such cases, however, choose a location with adequate eaves or a roof that can provide sufficient protection from rain and direct sunlight. Wear clothing that can get dirty and wet. Make sure to wear a mask to avoid inhaling dust and mold. Also, wear a shower cap or something similar to prevent mold from getting in your hair. Use a mask with a rating of N95 or DS2. This means that it is not resistant to oil and removes 95% of all particles that are 0.1 to 0.3 microns in diameter. Make sure to wash your clothes every day after work. It is advisable to soak the clothes in bleach to disinfect them before putting them in the wash. Make sure to follow these points to avoid damaging your health when conducting this work. Spread a blue tarp in the work area and prepare to work. First, assess the condition of the object. Place it on a flat surface and photograph it. Make sure to include reference numbers in the photos, such as by using tags. Record the materials photographically together with the reference tags. If there are ink inscriptions, branding, or other markings, photograph them to make a record. When using tags, replace them with cotton yarn, not wire, so as to not damage the object. Attach a reference number to the object and make a record. Cleaning earthquake-damaged items. Before cleaning, prepare all of the tools that will be needed. For objects covered in grit and dust from an earthquake, remove the grit with a paintbrush or calligraphy writing brush. Basic practice involves using a brush to clean away soil and dust from heritage materials that have been through a disaster. Move the brush in the direction of the wood grain of an object. If using a vacuum cleaner, cover the suction opening with a net to prevent the object from being sucked into the vacuum. If an object has mud or other grime clinging to it so strongly that it cannot be removed just with a brush, and there is a concern that it will make the temporary storage location very dirty, then wipe the object with a damp cloth. For this procedure, prepare a space that is not dirty. When wiping with a damp cloth, it is best to use cotton cloths that are not too fuzzy. Cut the cotton cloth so that the seams do not snag on the object. Take a damp cotton cloth and wipe or tap away the dirt, being careful to not damage the object's surface. When removing dirt covering a wooden part, use the wiping method. Be sure to wipe carefully in the direction of the wood's grain. When removing dirt that is stuck in gaps between wooden parts or in cracks, use the tapping method. Using a cotton cloth that is sufficiently damp, tap carefully, making sure not to be too forceful. After using a cotton cloth once, rinse it with water before using it again. Be careful not to use an overly soiled cloth, as that could end up making the object dirty. When wiping ink inscriptions, take care not to remove the ink. After finishing work on an object, clean up the workspace. Slowly dry the object in the shade. Its condition must be regularly observed at this time, being cautious of mold and deformation. Also, be careful to turn the object over so that it dries completely and evenly everywhere. If mold was already present or has newly formed, remove it using a vacuum cleaner with a HEPA filter. Use a machine that is compatible with a HEPA filter that meets JIS or Japan Industrial Standards. Also, when dealing with mold, it is advisable to work in a location that has an air cleaner set up with a HEPA filter. Cleaning water-damaged items. For materials with a lot of dirt stuck to them due to flood damage from a river or other water sources, there are two options: cleaning by wiping with a damp cloth or cleaning by immersion in water. If the dirt is not stuck very firmly to the surface of the object and you think that it can be removed by wiping with a damp cloth, then follow the same procedure for wet cleaning that was just explained and dry the object in the shade. If the object has some kind of coating, such as paint or lacquer, there is a danger that this could be removed along with the dirt during the cleaning process. In such cases, please seek and follow the advice and instructions of an expert. If dirt is stuck firmly to the surface of the object, soften the dirt by immersing the item in a water-filled container. When the hard dirt loosens, use a brush to remove it little by little. Once the dirt has been removed to a certain extent, take the object out of the water. Then, put it in a container filled with clean water and finish cleaning it. To prevent cracking and deformation due to rapid drying, dry the object slowly in the shade. Also, for any mold, follow the same procedure explained for dealing with mold. If a heritage material that contains metal is cleaned by immersion in water, it might need to be treated to prevent rust. In such cases, please consult an expert. Temporary storage. Organize materials that were given emergency treatment and move them to a temporary storage location. Preparing and using containers or other storage cases will help the work go smoothly. Attach reference numbers to the storage cases. Make a record on the reference list of which materials are in which cases.
$1 番の箱が3番、6番、7番、8番です。2番の箱が4番、5番、10番です。
Move the materials to the temporary storage location. Precautionary points for handling damaged cultural materials. Broken heritage materials can look like debris at first glance. To avoid accidentally discarding them, put everything that might be a heritage material into a box or bag and store it so that it does not become scattered or lost. When work moves to the next stage, such as serious conservation, you will want to carefully check these items again. If you are unclear about anything up to this point in the process or how to conduct serious restoration of an object, then seek the opinion of an expert.